fiance, my sister, and my parents. Hello, my name is Joseph Cooper, and today I'm going to be talking about budgeting. But first, I'm going to ask a question. Did you grow up in a household where money problems were common? If you answered yes to that question, today I'm going to give you a very useful and important tool to combat that for your future family. Hopefully, after this speech, you'll know what budgeting is, why it's important, and how to budget. First, we turn to some frequently asked, very important questions. Our first question is, what is budgeting? My summarization here is money in, money out. It is basically the concept of keeping track of all the money that comes in, your income, and all the money that goes out, your expenses. This can be compared to how a company looks at their financials. This concept, actually, I got from the United States of America government website. We can view our personal finances as an accountant would view their client's finances, or a company would look at their own finances. Also, budgeting is a very important tool against waste. If we can cut out the waste, we can get to where we want to be. Our second question is, why should I budget? My summarization is better control over your money. With this better control over your money, you'll know where your waste is, where you're wasting your money. Also, you'll know if your income even covers your expenses. If you're too far in debt and your payments are too high, you'll know these things. These are very important things to know. And finally, the most important part of budgeting is being able to save money for your future, whether that's buying a house, buying a car, or for emergencies. For our third question, when should I budget? My summarization is all day, every day. From the FAFSA organization's website, fsa.org, the majority of college students do not budget. This is very bad because learning this skill young can be used throughout the rest of your life. Once you learn it now and you save up, it'll make your later days in life even better. It'll help you be able to save for emergencies, such as an appliance going down or your car breaking down, needing an expensive repair job. It can help pay for your future child's college, and it can even help you with your retirement when you're older. Our final question is, how do I budget? Now we turn to our most important step in budgeting. I got this concept, SMART goals, from the University of Pennsylvania, home to the Wharton School of Business, an Ivy League school. SMART is an acronym. We're going to start with the first letter. S is for specific. Specific meaning, how much money do you want to save? Why do you want to save this money? For what? Next, M is for measurable. This is something that you can keep track of very easily. Next, A, achievable. Basically, don't stretch yourself too thin. You're not going to be able to save $1 million in a couple years if you only make $40,000 a year. Relevant, for R. This is for your personal goals, not for anyone else. If you want to save for this or that, that is the most important thing, and that's what your goals should be based on. And finally, T for time-based. It is very important to set time limits and deadlines for your goals, and so it's easier to achieve them. After we have wrote down our SMART goals, next we move on to keeping track of our income and expenses. This can be done on an app, a budgeting app, an Excel spreadsheet, or even with a pen and paper. Keep track of your income and expenses for a period of time of your choosing to get all the knowledge you need to set up your budget. After we have our income and expenses that we regularly pay, we can differentiate between wants and needs. Yes, we're going to have to cut out wants for a little while, but this is delayed gratification for better times down the road. After we have our needed expenses, we break those down into two further categories, one being fixed and one being variable. Fixed expenses are things such as insurance payments, mortgages, things that don't change as rapid as, say, variable expenses such as groceries or gas or anything like that. And once we have all that information, we can make our budget and save for our future goals. Next, we turn to a sample budget that I made for John Doe. John Doe was in debt because he was buying Starbucks coffee every day and buying all these things, not paying attention to where his money was going. So to help him out, we wrote up an example budget for him. John Doe makes $4,000 a month. With this, we now go to, knowing his income, now we go to his expenses. We broke his expenses down into the two categories. His variable expenses, such as groceries, gas, we even threw in some extra food money for him in case he wants to eat out. All that totals up to $900. Over here in the fixed category, we have his car and life insurance, his mortgage and things like that. That totals up to $1,800. Adding those two expenses together, we have $2,700. Well, then we take his income per month and subtract expenses from that number. If John Doe follows this budget to a T, he will save $1,300 in every month. In conclusion, budgeting is very important for financial literacy and independence. Also, it is a very important tool to improve and save for your future. To sum up, budgeting is understanding your SMART goals, as the University of Pennsylvania showed us, in detail. Define your needs, cut out your wants for the time being, something called delayed gratification. Next, with this budget, you can pay attention to your money all throughout your life and never lose track of where you're at. And finally, you stick to your plan and save your money. You achieve your goals and you live your life how you want to. Thank you. My fiance, sister, and parents, show those. That's my budget, my acronym, and my questions.